racing at Sachsenring, race 2 of the weekend is go. Good start is made by Ludwig, a great start by Daniel Abt on the way down towards turn 1. Van Thor in the orange Audi squeezes up the inside. Keilwitz tries to go right round the outside in the Corvette. They're 3 wide for second place. Downhill for the first time, Ludwig leads. Laurens Van Thor goes second. 1 or 2 straight wide over the curve, but they're all safely through as they plunge downhill. Keilwitz goes third. Down to fourth is Abt. Fifth is Sylvest, going strongly in the Mercedes. Had his first qualifying run in the car this morning. Yesterday the car got a penalty, but it's going strongly now as uphill through turns 4 and 5 they run. Jaap van Lagen, number 5, sees a skirmish ahead of him, bit of leaning going on. Up front, Luca Ludwig then leads the way. Up the inside goes 8th Bentley. Guy Smith trying to work his way through the traffic here. And a flash of the lights to the sister car just up the road to say to Jordan Pepper, get out of the way, I want to come through. The Formula Le Mans winner, he's on an absolute mission. Sachsenring might be new to Guy, but he likes the place and feels very at home, he was saying, in this championship as the cars work their way downhill and off the road already. Has gone 28, which is Mark Basseng in the Peter Hoofanars Audi. That gets back on, but a long, long way down the order now. Mark Basseng, former GT1 world champion, has left himself with a lot of work to do. The race leaders then are heading up towards the end of lap number 1. Luca Ludwig leads, Laurens Van Thor is second, third is Daniel Keilwitz, fourth is Daniel Abt, in 5th place Nikolai Sylvest in 6th. As you see, second and third come side by side down to turn 1. Keilwitz on the outside line, gets his nose in front as he made it stick. He has, but is he going to run out wide or can he claim the line for turn 2? They're absolutely level. Downhill they go. Keilwitz with the inside line. Can Van Thor stand his ground? No, he's got to give way and slot back in behind. Kelvin van der Linde is the man running in 6th place, and the start procedure is under investigation. Now, I said it wasn't a great start by Daniel Abt. Was it a bad start by him or a jump by Ludwig? Let's have a look. Luca Ludwig accelerates away. Look, his side of the grid blasts clear. Daniel Abt slots in behind, but the officials want to look at that to determine whether Luca Ludwig went before he should. So they've got all the data at their disposal. You can't really see the lights on that shot, but that's Daniel Keilwitz who thunders up the inside. James Brown diving into turn 1. So Ludwig is the race leader. Does this tell us how Mark Basseng came to grief? It does. I think he just hit the curb. Nobody seemed to hit him. Others had to scatter, including Martin Ranginger. Mark Basseng able to rejoin. This was Keilwitz's really good move on Van Thor for second place. So Laurens Van Thor is not somebody who can get past easily. And the Corvette with all that grunt in a straight line thunders past. And Keilwitz now is going after the race leader. The gap's half a second. The replay shows you the completion of the move through turn 2. Van Thor did his best to try and keep the inside all the way down to 3, but he couldn't do it. But Keilwitz now is really storming on. And I just wonder whether, a bit further back, Christian Engelhardt's got a problem, because the green Lamborghini, one of the 2 green cars run by Gottfried Grasser's team, is falling back from its 4th on the grid down to 8th place. And Engelhardt is the gun in that car. He needs to bring it up the order for Rolf Eichen to preserve later on in the race. Replay here of Sven Barton having a spin coming out of turn 11. His Corvette, the older Corvette, that's the Z06, out against the C7 that leads the way. Spins, goes through the gravel, and Barton, with enough momentum, is able to chug out the other side. It's the car that he shares with Remo Lips. He brings quite a bit of the gravel bed onto the road as well, but he's back on track there as the cars now work their way through the downhill sequence out of turn 10. And the lead gap is not only coming down between the top 2, but also the gap you can see is not that great between second and third, so they're all bunching up now. Another little battle lower down. You've got Dominic Schwager on the back there of the Christopher Zonella Porsche. Edward Sandstrom coming under attack as well, though, from Guy Smith Bentley. And that is for 11th and 12th places. Big flash of the headlights from Jordan Lee Pepper, who's on a mission, as Guy Smith tries to line up to have it go down towards turn 1, but Edward Sandstrom, very experienced driver, is able to hang on to the place. Up front then, it is Mercedes ahead of the Chevrolet Corvette, ahead of the Audi of Van Thor. So Ludwig Keilwitz and then Van Thor, the top 3. Daniel Abt for Bentley 4th. Nikolai Sylvest for Mercedes is 5th. And this was Sandstrom making his move, in fact, up the inside, through turn 12, gets the job done. Good move. So Sandstrom then gains track position. That puts him into 11th spot now. The race-leading margin is still hovering around the half-a-second mark, but Laurens Van Thor, third look, inching up onto the back of Keilwitz, has done the fastest lap of the race now. Daniel Abt, 4th. Nikolai Sylvest, 5th. Fascinating to see how the other Zach Speed Mercedes is going on here. That was a car with different drivers doing duty at the ADAC GT race at Monza a week ago. Changed the transponder, changed the regulation stickers and put it back on track. Well, Nikolai Silvestre is new to the championship, ex-German Formula 3 Cup racer. He's done karting and Formula Ford, but let's see how he gets on in this. He's taking over the seat that is normally to be filled by Felix Rosenqvist as the leaders then come up over the timing line now. And what covers the top three? 9/10 of a second covers the top three. This is very close indeed, with Alp fourth, Silvestre fifth, sixth, Calvin van der Linde. Replay of the start. Cars accelerate away, and a demon getaway by Daniel Keilwitz. Now, the start procedure was under investigation. No more news on that offered up on the timing screen, which is where we get the messages from us yet. But Keilwitz really brave on the brakes, and all the way around the outside. Gets past Lamborghini, gets past Bentley. Brave, brave stuff. And thumbs up from the pit garage where the Corvette drivers are looking there. Daniel Keilwitz sharing with Jules Gounon. John Mark's son, the other Corvette, though, the older car in the pit lane at WT Racing. That's Sven Bart that's brought it in after his trip through the gravel. Get a sense just from those last couple of shots of the different shapes and different sounds in GT3 racing. And the Corvette thunders downhill right onto the back now of the Mercedes. It's the new Corvette for this year, the C7. Got the new Mercedes just up the road ahead, which is the AMG GT3. Sebastian Ash on the inset watches on. He will do the second stint today. He's starting yesterday. Each driver gets a turn to be the starting driver and to do the qualifying time. And the top two now 3/10 of a second apart. Is this where Keilwitz makes his move? He thinks about it. Has a tentative look to the inside, but he needs to get on with this. If he just sits there, then Vanthor's going to arrive on his tail and look for a way through as well. They head downhill now, and the Corvette inching up ever closer to the back of the Mercedes. Now, having said he needs to get past, Daniel Keilwitz is fully aware of that, but the balance of performance is such that overtaking ain't that easy sometimes because the cars have such good parity. Keilwitz was Ferrari mounted in Blancpain last week, back to his familiar Corvette now. Accelerating through turn 6 onto that bottom straight, speed building all the time. And the road will climb uphill in fourth place. Look, Daniel Ab dropping back just a little bit in the Bentley that he shares with Christo Jons. The race leaders go through, heading up now towards turn 9. And it was 8/10 covering the top three at the start of this lap. Luka Ludwig with the maximum ballast on board. Keeping the car in the lead of the race. It's not that easy with all the extra weight. Gounon looks on to see the Corvette that he will take over, and in which he did a good stint yesterday. Closing, closing, closing. But where does Keilwitz make his move? Possibly the best chance is a good run out of this last corner up the hill, and they'll make the move down to turn 1. But Keilwitz has got Vanthor looking for a way past him as well. Through they come, top three as one. And Daniel Keilwitz is closing as they go past the pits down towards turn 1. He makes the move on the inside and Keilwitz bags the lead. Good move on the inside line. And Luka Ludwig, with the extra success ballast, realising that he was a sitting target, gives him the racing room, lets him go. But now Vanthor will want to get up past as well, because now it is conceivable that the Corvette's going to build an advantage while Vanthor is stuck behind Ludwig. Here it is again. Up the inside, Ludwig gave him racing room. I think he realised it was inevitable he was going to lose the advantage sooner or later. Perhaps the team is banking on a safety car to bring them back into the mix, but for now, we have the race leader, we have Daniel Keilwitz through on the inside line. There it is from outside, lots of room left on the inside. Keilwitz goes through, lots of applause in the Corvette garage. But that takes you to the end of the first 9 minutes, pretty much. It's all very well applauding now, but give it another 50 minutes or so, then you can applaud team. What is happening is that Keilwitz is getting away, and second and third now, the order Luka Ludwig ahead of Laurens Vanthor. And is Daniel Ab creeping up into the picture as well? Behind them in fourth place, I reckon he is. Second and third come through the Mercedes. Same livery as last year, same team, same drivers, but it's the different car, the new for 2016 Mercedes GT3 goes over the timing line. Is Vanthor close enough to attack? No. Silvestre fifth, not close enough to attack Ab, but he is closing under braking. Kelvin van der Linde is 6th, 7th is Hasse, 8th is Engelhardt, 9th is Christopher Mies, 10th is Jordan Pepper, and a little bit further back there you've got the battle between Marcus Pommer, trying to find a way up on the inside, and also now Jaap van Lagen, and Van Lagen has gone through, starting the lap just as they came over the timing line. He's gone by, so he's gained a spot. Whoops, Christopher Zanella in the Porsche gets all physical, barges up the inside there of Xavier Marson. Dominic Schwager has to go wide and give them racing room, and also in trouble by the look of it, Louis Delatraz of the BMW. 36 under investigation straight away for that. Christopher Zanella, that caused cars to scatter. I'll have another look in a moment and try and just work out who's what to which and to whom, but it's a pretty tight sequence, turns 1, 2 and 3. But there was definitely contact, and it has definitely compromised 2 or 3 cars involved. Here it comes. So Zanella goes for a gap, but it's not really there. He's up the curb, charges up the inside, elbows Xavier Marson to one side, and also battling Klaus Bachler. He was trying to find a way with his elbows out past Marcus Pommer, the Porsche up the inside at turn 12. That was for 15th place. That's a bit less physical, but it's also partly to perhaps explain how Van Lagen got past Pommer, because he was put off his stride and lost not just 1 but then 2 places. Now there is the leading car. Daniel Keilwitz now leading by 1.4 seconds, ahead of Ludwig, ahead of Van Thor, ahead of Abt, ahead of Sylvester, ahead of Van der Linde. Round turn 3 they go, then it's the climb uphill. A little bit further back, Christian Engelhardt still doing his best to hang on to a place. And there is Klaus Bachler, who is now in 15th spot, and Guy Smith, 14th, as was. I think they've reversed themselves, haven't they? Yes, they have. So the Porsche are up ahead of the Bentley now. They work their way round the lap. It's all a bit strange. The Bentley qualified reasonably well, but Guy Smith has been dropping away in this first stint, and we know that he's an experienced and very, very rapid driver. Just a lack of circuit knowledge is doing this. There might be something else that's not quite right. That Guy, of course, part of the Bentley squad with the M Sport cars in Blockpan. And after years of racing in America, back in Europe, loving being one of the Bentley boys. Nose to tail for second place. Luca Ludwig then, Klaus Ludwig's son, ahead of Laurens Van Thor, who in the endurance car in the Blockpan these days is joined, among others, by his brother, younger brother Dries. So the Van Thor Racing legacy set to continue for years to come. And nose to tail they go down towards turn 1 yet again. We're on lap number 10. No further action being taken against Christopher Zanella from his move at this part of the circuit a couple of laps back. So the Porsche driver escapes censure, even if there might be a bit of damage to the car. 19th he is, and Xavier Marson 21st, who was the other driver involved in the initial contretemps. Now look at Ludwig hanging on to that second place, while Keilwitz is building up the gap further up the road. Downhill they come now. As ever at the Sachsenring, there's a big crowd for this sole pure car race weekend. There's MotoGP, ADAC GT Masters, and the mixed car and bike classic weekend, and that is it. The restrictions on noisy days are such here. It's a very busy circuit with school days, with manufacturer days, with driving experience days, but in terms of the proximity of houses and the number of noisy days they can have, they're limited to just 3 meetings here. So this is the showpiece car event. Big crowd, busy timetable, and the sun shines, making it a great weekend for the fans. Downhill, Christopher Meeks under attack, is through on the inside, goes Jordan Pepper. That gives him 9th spot there. The Bentley ahead of the Audi. The Bentley still looks enormous compared to the low-line R8 LMS behind, but very, very competitive cars. The Bentley Continental GT3s, now in their 3rd year of racing. It was at Silverstone in the first season that Guy Smith, Andy Merrick and Stephen Kane took the famous victory and scored Bentley's first GT3 win. There's the move in replay. Jordan Pepper up the inside. Christopher Meeks in the championship leading car, giving him racing room. Again, perhaps realising that with the extra success ballast on board, it was going to be a forlorn hope to defend anyway. Just thinking about the championship while we have a moment, to Felipe and Meeks 4 points up on Ludwig and Ash coming into this race, with a further 21 points back, Engelhardt and Robin Eichen. So they need to salvage something out of this as well, but it's looking very, very good for the Mercedes duo, who had a knack last year of scoring points, even if they weren't able to win races, just score and score well. The same is happening again this year, seemingly. So Mercedes in 2nd spot, now 2.3 seconds adrift. The pit window will be open in a further 10 minutes. Long line heads downhill. Real contrast this from yesterday's early part part of the race where we had safety car after safety car, but they've all been pretty well behaved, apart from Mark Descend's trip through the gravel, and he has tried to recover from that. He's in 28th place, and the other one was Sven Mark, who went through the gravel and pitted. He has also rejoined, but he didn't have people being stuck in the gravel, unlike yesterday. Over the line goes Christian Engelhardt, who needs to get on with this and try and get himself up the order. Engelhardt's next target is Christopher Hasse. Through turn 1 they go. Hasse right on the back of his teammate now, Calvin van der Linde, in the 2-car collection motorsport run Audis. And Engelhardt switching from Porsche racing, as had Rolf Eichen to Lamborghini GT cars this year. Makes his way now through turns 4 and 5, plunges downhill. And this part of the circuit, very, very popular with the fans. Big rage back, you can see 2 or 3 corners. It's a popular part of the circuit. Through they come now, with the race being on lap number 12. Where's the next move going to come from? Because dare one suggests it's all settled down a little bit for the moment. Engelhardt running in the moment in 8th place. And this, in replay by Smith, loses out, was up the inside line, goes Jan van Lagen into turn 1. So 15th and 16th battling. And Daniel Abt falling away again from Lawrence Vanthoor. I thought a couple of laps back, he was just creeping into contention a bit, but the Mercedes and the Audi so evenly matched that Vanthoor is virtually stuck there, hypnotised by the back of the Mercedes. He can't get much closer, and to make the move, he's going to have to come from a long way back like Nikolai Silvestre does, and the Mercedes going into turn 1. He couldn't quite do it, but that was a really serious bid from a long way back to try and get the Mercedes up past the Bentley. Brave stuff by Silvestre. It comes to naught, but not for the want of trying. It's good to see people having a go like that, as long as it doesn't end in contact. Whereas, lower down the order, there is contact, and 32 Lamborghini is the one being attacked in the hands of Emanuele Zonzini, and it is the MRS GT Racing Nissan of Bas Kotthorst that gets up the inside and robustly finds a way by. Daniel Keilwitz then, 12 times a race winner in the ADAC GT Masters Championship, leads the way by 3 seconds. He's building the gap all the while, whilst this battle still rages on behind. Ludwig heads downhill. Keilwitz, a winner here in 2012, incidentally, when he was partnering Diego Alessi in Corvettes. Second and third, head uphill once more. Over the timing line they will come now. Ludwig hangs onto the place. Roland Asch and San Sebastian watch through the garage, and they see Vanthoor inching up again. That last lap was fractionally quicker by Vanthoor, only by 0.02 of a second. The driving standards flag, by the way, is going to go out to Bas Kotthorst for the push against Emanuele Zonzini's Lamborghini. An effort being made by Marcus Pommer then against Dominic Schwager, who responds, going over the timing line. Pommer trying to get back up the inside, but Dominic Schwager through, and he hangs on to his newly won 17th place. The Pommer Winkelhock Audi went really strongly yesterday, certainly in the early part of the race. And Marcus Pommer is a quick driver, as we've seen in the past in single-seaters. So the Phoenix racing car, one to watch on the thought, but a little bit surprising. He's not higher up the order. These cars are just great to watch around the Sachsenring. They're big, brutal cars, different shapes, different sounds, different sizes. And on a circuit like this, a mini Nordschleifer, they just look right. Replay here of Klaus Battler gaining position on the inside. Going through against the Fry car as Vanthoor bags second on the inside at turn 12. He's finally been able to do it, and Lawrence Vanthoor goes through, but straight away, Luca Ludwig finds back. Now, who's got the drive in a straight line? Is it going to be the Audi, or is it going to be the big, grunty Mercedes that's on the outside line? Down to turn 1, Vanthoor has the line for the corner. Look at Silvestre in the background, having another go at Daniel Abt, but Lawrence Vanthoor goes second, then through on the inside line. He's done it. He made the move really at turn 12, but he secures it at turn 1 on the following lap. They were side by side all the way down the pit straight. This is another reason that the Sachsenring is such a great circuit, that moves can happen at one corner, and it was all there because Ludwig ran wide and Vanthoor says, right, thank you very much, give him the gap, through he goes, but Ludwig gets the switchback, gets up the inside coming out of the corner, and That put him on the outside line all the way down to turn 1, but he couldn't quite get back ahead. So now, Keilwitz versus Vanthoor. The starting point is 4 seconds and 5 minutes before the pit window opens. In most cases, these are the quicker drivers. So how long will they stay out? Will it be to the halfway point or right to the end of the window? Bearing in mind that if you are out when the pit window closes, you start to get penalties and you can't afford to run it too late. Out of turn 10, Christian Engelhardt here comes up to make a move against Christopher Hasse in replay. Hasse having to run wide. Engelhardt's on the outside line at turn 11. Can't get it done there. But will, I think, get the inside line heading up the hill. Is that a nudge? Bit of bleeding going on. Engelhardt gets the inside line. Anchors up, tight turn 12. Job done. Race leader Daniel Keilwitz 4 seconds ahead of Laurens Vanthoor. Luca Ludwig third, and then fourth, fifth and sixth now together, because on a real mission is Kelvin van der Linde. He's got past Sylvester in the red and white Zack Speed Mercedes. Look, and he's going to hang on to that through turn 2. So now Nikolai Sylvester has to drop back in behind him. And Daniel Abt there in the Bentley, hanging on as the best of the Bentley drivers to 4th place. But Kelvin van der Linde all of a sudden going very, very strongly. And another place, I reckon, can be won by him before the pit stops. Partners is up to Tunlu, who we've seen racing in Renault Championships and the World Touring Cars. But this is how van der Linde secured the move, stayed on the outside line, stood his ground, and then he put the inside line for the next corner, secures the place. Lap 16 we're on. Drivers getting ready then now for the pit stops. Christian Abt watches on. John Wickham to his right. He's headed out on the Bentley pit wall. But Abt is coming under more and more pressure, isn't he, from van der Linde as they work their way now through turn 11. And Kelvin, the former Sirocco champion, turns his way through turn 12, heading up towards the timing line now. They'll come over the line to complete 16 laps, and this could well be the chance now for van der Linde to make the move, heading down towards the first corner. Can he dive up the inside? Is he close enough to even think about diving up the inside? Not there, he's not, but this is a circuit that's kind to him. He's had 3 wins here in the past. He won 1 last year and twice. In other words, he won both races here back in 2014. So Kelvin van der Linde, the Sachsenring specialist, looking to try to bag 4th place before the pit stops. Van der Linde should be quicker than he's up to Tunlu, so he needs to try and give his co-driver the best possible chance here at the end of the stint. 37 minutes are on the clock. Cars head downhill once again. Christian Engelhardt doing his best to make progress. He's up to 7th, as we've seen at the expense of Christopher Hasse. But the next target is going to be the van der Linde Sylvester battle going on up the road ahead of him. And now that Hasse has got himself on the back of Abt, is he stuck, or is he going to be able to come diving through without losing any more time to the pack behind? He's going to try the outside line. Is he going through turn 11? Yes, he is! Is he going to pay off for him? Yes, he does! Fantastic stuff. Right round the outside goes van der Linde. Has he made it stick? He has, because coming out of turn 12, Abt has to slot back in behind him. Sylvester in the mud gets up the inside now. Tremendous racing. And Kelvin van der Linde proving why he's so good around here. Brilliant move round the outside then, at the bottom of the hill. Side by side behind him, late on the brakes, Nikolai Sylvester in the Mercedes. Has he done it? Just about, yes, cuts across the front of the Bentley. You are looking on from Engelhardt's Lamborghini. He's going to be the next man to come up and challenge Daniel Abt, who all of a sudden is losing place after place after place. What's going on? All of a sudden, the Bentley really looks to be struggling. So that was the move done. Round the outside, van der Linde gets back onto the circuit, gives racing room on the inside for the Bentley of Daniel Abt to try and fight back if needs be, but this was the move itself through turn 11, all the way round the outside. He used all of the road up onto the curb. Brave, brave stuff, and it nets Kelvin van der Linde 4th place. Really good effort, that. And lots of applause in the garages. Even if you're a Mercedes driver, you can applaud that move. So there's the race leader, and it's a Corvette driver, Daniel Keilwitz then, up front. The pit window is going to open in 25 seconds' time. So as they come through, Keilwitz leads the way. Vanthoor is 2nd, Ludwig 3rd, but look how much time he's lost now, having led early on in the race. 4th is Kelvin van der Linde. storming on. And then what's going on behind him? Is it still Adam and Sylvester together? It is. The Mercedes is 5th, the Bentley is 6th, 7th is Engelhardt, 8th is Hasse, 9th is Pepper, 10th is Mies. But it won't be long, surely, before Engelhardt gets up past the Bentley. The window is open as the cars work their way downhill, and you're looking now at 29, Christopher Mies trying to find a way past Jordan Pepper's Bentley. Is that another car that's fading, I wonder? Right, Sebastian Ash is ready. Quick pep talk from Dad. First stopper is the new BMW, the M6, for Louis Delatraz to vacate and to let the Swede Jesse Krohn get into. So the Scandinavian behind the wheel, replacing last year's Formula Renault 2.0 NEC champion, Daniel Keilwitz. Still presses on up front. We've also just had into the pit lane the Andre Gies Lamborghini to give way now to his co-driver Emil Lindholm, both of them out of the Junior VAG Championships, and Lloyd Sirocco's and Audi TT Cup respectively. Over the timing line has gone the race leader then. The gap was 4 seconds a little while back, but it is now coming down slightly. 4 seconds has become 3.4. Fascination in the next stint's going to be the pace of Gounon relative to the Audi. As you see, the next little battle patch scrum come out of turn 12, some there for the pit lane and some go over the line. Engelhardt's gained ground out of all of that as well, but Laurens Vanthoor will give way to Florian Stoll. He's as quick as Jules Gounon. Contact at turn 1. Engelhardt gets a biff in the tail. That forces him out wide. Trying to find a way past him now is Christopher Hasse as they go downhill. Has Engelhardt got a puncture? I think he has. He's got problems. Is it a flat or is it broken suspension? It's certainly a punctured tyre, but it could be even worse than that. In all of that scrum, Engelhardt's race is as good as done now, because he's got to limp it round for the best part of a lap to the pit lane. There's bodywork damage, it's cut a tyre, and let's have a look at it. So over the timing line, Engelhardt is ahead of Bentley, and Jordan Pepper brakes late. For the gap in the middle goes 33, which is Christopher Hasse, and there's contact, and it's the Lamborghini that comes off worse, straight away sideways. It could be even worse than just a cut tyre. Let's have a look. There's one bit of contact, but I think the tyre has been punctured off the Bentley going into turn 1. Have a look back. This is Engelhardt coming out of turn 12, over the line. Others peel off into the pit lane. Jordan Pepper tries to get the run here as they come down towards turn 1. So Pepper tries to level with the Audi, gets past. Can he slow down in time? No. That's where the contact comes, gets into the back of the Lamborghini, damages the suspension, cuts the tyre, and Engelhardt will have to limp slowly round to the pit lane. Right, the pit window is open. In has come number 1, Luca Ludwig. Also in has come Christopher Hasse. Sebastian Ash taking over from Luca Ludwig. Pit stop cycling through the best thus far from the Schutz Motorsport Porsche. Zanella to Marvin Dienst, 65.1 seconds. Absolutely extraordinary that, because that's about as close to the mark as you can do it. There is the Lamborghini down the pit road. Is it going to be able to go back out? There is a driving standards flag for number 9 for pushing another car. But you could argue that Jordan Pepper got away lightly with that. It's back into the race now then. Goes number 1. With Sebastian Ash at the wheel. And the race leading car stays out on number 22. I think it was just a puncture. There is the cut tyre. So Rolf Finaiken now replaces Christian Engelhardt behind the wheel. Now where's our next pit stopper going to be? The best placed is likely to be number 1 Mercedes at the end of the next lap. The other car that has pitted is 33 Christopher Hasse. He was behind anyway, so it should remain that the Mercedes keeps track position, but we need to see where that is when the stops have cycled through relative to Vanthoor, who's getting to stop. He's quicker than Florian Stoll, and Keilwitz, who's going to be quicker than Jules Gounon, so staying out to the end of the window, those two. Great sounds these cars make. Hammering past. So Jules Gounon now gets ready to take over from Daniel Keilwitz. We've got Marcus Pommer in to give way to Marcus Winkelhock as well. That car is getting itself into the top 10. Is this the lap on which the Corvette will bail for the pit lane? Let's see, or is there going to be one more? Through turn 12 comes Daniel Keilwitz. He's going to stay out for one more lap as the car makes that long climb up the hill over the brow, down towards turn 1 again. Second now is 24, which is Laurens Vanthoor, and the gap is down to 3.1 seconds. Laurens is chipping away bit by bit by bit. In third place remains Calvin van der Linde, and then Nikolai Silvestre bails from fourth. He's just pitted, so that means that up to fourth goes Jordan Pepper. Fifth now is Klaus Bachler, yet to stop, of course. Sixth is going to be Edward Sandstrom. That's Nikolai Silvestre in the Zack Speed Mercedes. He will give way to the Swiss driver Nikolai Rogivu. He was last year in the Formula Renault, Formula 4 categories, Formula 4 particularly. Drove in the ADAC F4 Championship. So Keilwitz to Vanthoor, 3.1 seconds, and the gap just ever so slightly coming down. There is Daniel Keilwitz. And number 15 is under investigation. 15 is the Pommer Winkelhock Audi. That, I'm guessing, is a pit infringement. Because its pit stop time was 64.9 seconds. So it's not done enough, has it? So number 15 Audi, 64.9 is a tenth short, but it's short. Doesn't matter by how much, short is short. And so that car flagged up on the timing screen for too short a pit stop, only by a tenth of a second, but it could cost them dear in the long run. The lead gap, 3.1 seconds still. There's Rogivu, who's taken over from Silvestre in the Mercedes. In has come Calvin van der Linde. And there the race-leading Corvette is at the bottom of the hill. So on lap 24, we managed to get through the first 32 minutes without the safety car. So it's a proper, clean race where you can see the natural pace, and a drive-through penalty is being given for now Marcus Winkelhock in number 15. He's up to Tulu, in number 34. But number 15 is going to get a drive-through, and 66, which is the East Lindholm Lamborghini, is also going to drive-through for speeding and pillow. Door closes, Calvin van der Linde walks away. I'm not convinced he's going to get a win this year here, but again, he's proved just how good he is around this circuit. Another great job done by the Germany. He's his uncle Etienne van der Linde, a Formula Renault racer in the UK in the mid to late 1990s. So he's from a good racing family, he's Calvin. And was that a bit of a cut of the white line? The car seemed to go over the curb rather on the pit exit. I'm sure that was quite legit. Daniel Keilwitz in replay, getting himself up through the traffic, sorting out the Mercedes at 21 there. Nikolai Rogivu at the wheel of it, the Zack Speed car. So the race-leading Corvette heads towards the end of the window. He's going to be in this time, and it's going to be a bit touch and go, actually. It's going to be tight. There's not going to be much of the window left when Daniel Keilwitz comes in, but absolutely maximising the stint. And the same is true behind the Vanthoor and Jordan Lee Pepper, because they're going to stay out right to the very end. Now, okay, you've got a minute and 25 seconds. And the lap is a minute and 21, but there won't be much of the window still open by the time they do get to the pit lane. So the teams looking at the lap times, looking at the time left in the race, trying to time all this to perfection. We just had another car do a pit stop at under 65 seconds, and it's 69. Dominic Schwager to Patrick Assenheimer, number 69 Corvette. That's done a 64.5 pit stop. So there's another car there that is under, and straight away it's under investigation. In comes the leading Corvette, so let's keep an eye to the clock and make sure that this pit stop is okay. Vanthoor is in behind. 3.1 seconds was the margin. It went up a little on that last lap, the in lap. So Keilwitz stops, and Jules Gounon takes over. A drive-through now for number 69 Corvette. Assenheimer has to do a drive-through for too short a pit stop. Somebody that's absolutely flying, by the way. Now, number 7, Christian Jules, has done the absolute best of anybody in the Bentley in Sector 2. Florian Stoll takes over from Lawrence Van Thor. Also in comes Jordan Pepper to give way to Andreas Weishaupt. So the last of the pit stop cycling through now. And the Corvette with the clock ticking away. It's got another 20 seconds still to serve. The Callaway Competition team giving instruction to fire on the engine. Gounon is released, but he can't cross the pit outline until 65 seconds are up. There's the Mercedes, which is not going to get the lead back. Up towards the timing line now goes the Corvette, blasts out of the pit lane. 66 seconds, okay, that's safe. And the Audi gets away behind, Van Thor in, and a 10th pullback, 65.9 seconds, that pit stop for Florian Stoll. So, same order, it is Corvette, Audi, and then Mercedes, with Sebastian Ash there, well into a stint, but the car was losing pace a little bit earlier on. Daniel Keilwitz gives us the thumbs up. Good job done that by Daniel. Another rather underrated racer. He's done the bulk of his competition in recent years in this championship, so people kind of forget how good he is, but he was the GT3 European champion going back a few years. He does specialise in Corvettes, but now racing the Ferrari as well in the Blancpain series. There is a drive-through penalty for number 17, the Porsche of Klaus Bachler, and also a drive-through penalty for number 32, which is the Zonzini Spengler Lamborghini. And Bachler's pit stop was a 64.7, and the Spengler pit stop was a 64.7 as well. So they are under the regulation pit stop time. So if you get it wrong, you have to serve a drive-through. So it's pit stop penalties, effectively, because of a pit infringement that's causing these drive-throughs now to be awarded. So, race order is as was before the stops. In other words, Corvette from Audi from Mercedes, and the gaps are pretty big at the moment. It was 3.8 seconds at pit in between the top two, and it's now 5.7. So Jules Gounon has done a very good outlap, whereas Florian Stoll rather less so. The gap has widened between them. In third spot, it is number 1, Sebastian Ash. In fourth is number 34 now, which is Isaac Tutumlu. Fifth place, number 7, Bentley Christa Jens. And sixth is Nikolai Rogivu, number 21 in the Mercedes. 66 there is Emil Lindholm, who's getting in the way a little bit. He's being lapped as the Porsche there serves the drive-through penalty. Back into the race goes now David Jan. Through on the inside look goes the new BMW, new for this year, Jessic Krohn at the wheel of it. Car number 20, the Finnish driver, gains the place on the inside. That is Assenheimer, also serving his drive-through. So now 22 minutes to run to the end, and we'll see what else can shake out of this race. With Jules Gounon, could well be on target for a first victory in the ADAC GT Masters competition here. Specialised over the last 2 or 3 seasons in the French Porsche Championship, Carrera Cup France. Sebastian Ash, double champion in this, comes out of turn 12 then over the timing line. Now, in theory, he ought to be getting closer to Stoll and to Jules Gounon, if only because of his experience. But I think the extra weight is helping the other two get away. There's number 9, beached in the gravel. It is Andreas Weishaupt, who's only been behind the wheel for a lap or two, and that, I fear, could be a safety car period. And that, if it happens, is going to bring everybody back into the mix. This could be the lifeline that Zach Speed has been wanting here. That car isn't going to drive out on its own, and I would be concerned about putting a safety car, putting a snatch vehicle there, but not a safety car. So it's beached in the gravel. The race director will make the call in a moment. How did it get there? Looked like it was self-induced. The safety car is deployed. The safety car comes out. 28's under investigation for speeding in the pit lane as well. That's the Basseng Ufanas Audi. There goes the safety car out on track. And just up the road ahead, the Bonaldi Lamborghini. There's bits of bodywork lying in the road out on track as well. This will be a chance to perhaps get that out of harm's way. Do we know who it came off? Ah, yes, the Lamborghini 67, which was started by Patrick Niederhauser now has Daniel Zampieri behind the wheel, the Attempto racing car, Akinaka's team. Very successful years ago for Aero Cup Deutschland, but still finding its feet a bit in GT racing. Had a spell with McLaren's last year, not very successfully. Has switched to Lamborghinis this year, going better in fairness, with Lamborghini factory drivers on board as well. There's the other car going through the shot, yellow blue Attempto car. So 20 minutes remain, safety car on track, and the field turning its way downhill once more. Team normally does quite well around here. It's the local circuit to the team. They're based about 65 kilometres away in Prague. And the safety car has now got the race leader. You can see that Jules Gounon's advantage, which was 8 seconds, has absolutely disappeared. It's not even like there's a back marker between him and the opposition now. So the car that Daniel Keilwitz started, Daniel, who was 11th outright at Monza a week ago in Rotterdam, third in his class. Watching on now from the pit wall, seeing the car having been caught by Florian Stoll, but it's going to be interesting this on the restart to see who is the better of the two, whether it's going to be Stoll or Gounon, because Florian Stoll is an experienced driver, but he's never been a standout GT driver in the way that others have, but he's got all the experience then in the good style of Keilwitz Audi. The cars this year, and then Sebastian Asch in third place. And like I said earlier, this is the lifeline perhaps Zach Speed has been wanting, because it brings Sebastian Asch into the game. Yes, the car is laden with success ballast, but even so, it looks now as though it's in a much stronger position once more, because all the gaps have been removed for it. Down through turn 1. There's another car under investigation now, which is number 34, and that's the Kelvin van der Linde 2 is up to Tumbu Audi. So as the field turns its way out of turn 1, there is the Andreas Weishaupt Bentley being hoiked out of the gravel, and it's all still looking pretty good for Corvette Racing at the front. The Corvette Motorsport team cheering for Jules Gounon. Daniel Keilwitz, after his great first stint, has handed over the car. And we've got 55 now, Xavier Marcin and Lucas Schreier under investigation as well. But I'll tell you that early on we lost Kelvin Snurkt. He was at the back of the grid anyway after a frustrating qualifying session, but the Lamborghini he shares with Elliot Earhart was an early retirement from the race. So the order is Gounon in 77, from Stoll 24 there, the orange Audi. Number 1 is third, back marker. 4th is number 7, which was Daniel out to start, and he's now Christian Gerns. 5th is 34, he's out to Toulouse. 6th is number 50, Audi Philippe Geipel. 7th is 29, Conor de Philippe, the championship leader. 8th is number 16, Lamborghini Lucas Stolz. 9th is 25, Daniel Dovic, Audi. And 10th is Niels Siever, having now taken over from Jaap van Lager. So how's the incident zone doing? Getting past it now, and Bentley is on the move. So that will drive back to the pit lane, and it should be then into retirement. Yesterday we had Martin Raginger's Porsche off the road at that same corner. Same thing, brought out of the gravel, drove back, but then rejoined the race and got a black flag for them. So the Bentley should head to the pit lane and then stay there. There it is. And as soon as the officials are happy for it to move, there's a gap in the traffic, it will so do. And hopefully, therefore, that will put us onto the last safety car lap. The field turning its way at the moment down through turn 3. Rahal Fry there with the earplugs in, so you can listen in to conversations between the team and Philippe Geipel. And the car's in 6th place and only 4.4 seconds back. Geipel could be one to watch on the restart, because the car, by dint of results early on in the year, is relatively light on ballast. Gounon then now having to get himself teed up for the restart, which will be at the end of this lap. Yesterday he did a very good first stint in the car. had to put up with 4 safety car periods in total during the course of the race. Controlled, not that he was the leader necessarily, but he was up in that leading group. He was good on the restarts each time, Gounon. So we'll see now how he fares from the very front as the cars come out of turn 10. Lights go out. Jules Gounon slows the pace, urges a bit more warmth into the rubber. There's the car that's behind in second place, the Audi in the hands of Florian Stoll. And then in third is the real danger in this, and that is Sebastian Asch. Then you've got Christopher Jürgens, who was quick yesterday in the Bentley, but he's got to get past the back-marking Lamborghini first, and it's all going to kick off at turn 1, isn't it? Safety cars can breed safety cars. Is it going to be the case here as Gounon storms away? Is Asch on his toes, even allowing for the balance? Can he get past the Audi? Over the timing line they come. We go racing once more at the Sachsenring with 14 minutes to go. Down to turn 1. Asch can't get past Stoll. Big flash of the lights from the Bentley. Christopher Jürgens is diving up the inside. Look there, side by side. The effort is made on the inside by Philipp Geipel. And does it work for him? I think he has gone through. Yes, Geipel gets ahead of his extra Tumlu, and he's on the back of Christopher Jürgens now. So Philipp Geipel gains a place straight away. The Lamborghini almost terrorised out of the way there as the cars charge uphill once more. But Philipp Geipel then on his toes on the restart gains 1 place. There could be more before the end. Here's the replay on board with Geipel. Go green and they head off down towards turn 1. Tries one side, tries the other. Brakes as late as he dares against Isaac Tutumlu. Through he goes up the inside. 13.5 minutes and counting as the field plunges downhill once again, and Tutumlu, having been put off his stride a little bit, very nearly got collected by Connor De Filippi. Great little battle going on here that involved Marcus Winkelhock keeping at bay now. 21, which is Nikolai Rogivu. That car's dropped a long way back, given its pit stop. As there, Sebastian Asch, rather than gaining, is under attack from Christopher Jürgens in the Bentley, and Philipp Geipel is charging along in the background. Look at the green Audi, he's almost with them as they round turn 12. 13 more minutes are on the clock. The leaders go through with the gap now between Gounon and Stoll being 2.7 seconds already. But Asch is under attack. The safety car period in hindsight hasn't so much helped as hindered, because instead of it putting them onto the back of the traffic, it's put more traffic onto the back of the Mercedes. Lukas Stolz also means business in the green Lamborghini there. Look, number 16 heading downhill and 3 wide. Porsche, Corvette. On the inside goes Marvin Dean, still 36. And you're riding with Rolf Eichen now, trying to work his way up through the traffic. This is the car that Christian Engelhardt started, but it's fallen a long way back into 23rd place, of course, after that punctured tyre. Losing out there is Patrick Assenheimer, as into the pits has come Jesse Krohn, the new BMW that Schubert is running this year. The M6 taking over from where the Z4 left off has got problems, and a lack of bodywork is the key to it. And it's not that the team has taken that off, the car has shed it on the lap, and that's a big old chunk of bodywork to leave by the side of the road. How easy will that be for a marshal to get to? There's the leader, Jules Gounon then, he's on lap 33. He comes out of turn 11, second, third, fourth, fifth as one. Florian Stoll here, coping well with the pressure, and actually it won't be long, will it, before it's second all the way through to sixth, because not that far behind either is Connor De Filippi. Into this as the championship leader. There you can see the front bodywork section just lying off the road on the left-hand side from the BMW. I think that's far enough out of harm's way not to be a real issue, as Stolz is trying to attack in the background as well to get past Tutumlu. This is Geipel's view of the back of Christopher Jürgens, and Tutumlu keeps Stolz at bay. Lukas Stolz moving from Bentley to Lamborghini for this year as they go downhill in towards turn 3. Behind Lukas Stolz, you've got Daniel Dobic, then Norbert Siedler. Another very busy GT racer these days. Quick in Carrera Cup seasons back, but now also a Ferrari racer in the Bronco GT series and a Lamborghini racer in the ADAC GT Masters. Have a weekend, have crash helmet, will travel. Downhill through turn 6 comes this long line of cars, all fighting for 7th place pretty much. Right the way back to 13th, we've got David Yarn. 14th, even Patrick Assenheim was just on the back of that train. The other one to watch in the dark grey, yellow Porsche there, just going through shot, the Schutz Motorsport car, is Marvin Deans. Now remember that Schutz last year had a front-running Porsche, helped largely by the pace of the drivers that come with rookies for this year. Geipel gets up the inside of Christopher Jürgens. Can't do it. Just go back to the Porsche. Michael Dean's last year's F4 champion in this country and adapting to GT cars. But here, Christopher Zanella, two young guns, and it will be interesting to see the progress made over the course of the year. Right, Geipel then now on his toes, ready to make a move down in turn one. Ash is on the back of Stoll. Look on the road, the white Mercedes on the back of the orange Audi. Here they go into turn one, and Florian Stoll now is struggling to keep them all at bay. Ash is right on his tail. Then Jules in the Bentley, then Geipel, and then Conor Philippi sixth is right with them all. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Downhill they plunge, and this is playing right into the hands, of course, of the leader because Jules Gounon is getting away now. Geipel's views on the back of the Bentley in his mirrors of the other Audi run by Land Motorsport, the Yako Team GT regular, Wolfgang Land's team coming into the championship year this year, but very successful in Porsche racing. Accelerating on that short straight at the bottom of the lap, hunting down Christy Jules as they power their way now uphill. Turns up turn and then down towards Christy Jules towards turn 11 into the bottom of the hill. Slightly near enough to make the move. He's got to see how the BOP works out across the course of the lap. Carl spot the week at different parts of the circuit. Then comes 24. As for the race change, Geipel lunges up the inside. Chopped up, goes forward. Oh, that was brave stuff by Philippe Geipel. Goes up the inside of the Bentley. Florian Stoll, second, is under investigation. Over the timing line they come. So Stoll, then Ash. Geipel up to fourth. A light flashing fifth is Christer Jules. And then in sixth place now, Conor Philippi. Why is 24 under investigation? The car still runs second, and there you see that really opportunistic move by Geipel, diving up the inside. Here it is again. Up towards turn 12. There's the gap. Hustles up the inside and goes through. Just looking to see if there's any more obvious reason as to why 24 Audi should be under investigation. Don't think it's anything to do with the pit stops, as far as I can see, looking at the data from the pit stops. So keep an eye to that. But the car, as I say, is being investigated. We've had the change for third then. Geipel up ahead now of the Zaxby Mercedes. The race leader heads up towards the timing line. Geipel at this rate is going to be good for second place, isn't he? Because the pace that he's now got is very impressive indeed. Move came down at turn 11. Hard on the brakes now, turning their way round turn one. Geipel keeps the Audi ahead of the Mercedes, so second place Stoll is only 6/10ths up on the Geipel Yako Racing Audi that really has come alive since that safety car period. All the work done to catch up to the traffic. Now he's good to go racing and gain places. So Philippe Geipel has gone storming his way up the order. There's the replay. Again, last of the late breakers and leaves it to the last possible moment to commit to the move, just as he did at turn 12 in order to get past the Bentley. So Philippe Geipel goes through. What can he do about Florian Stoll now for second place? Jules Gounon and Daniel Keilwitz, though, looking as though the wind's going to come their way. Whatever it was about Florian Stoll, no further action is coming. So whatever it was that had alerted the race officials, nothing needs to be done about it. But what does need to be done is that Stoll is going to try and fend off Geipel as they go downhill now. Where does Geipel make the move? Is it going to be turn 11? Not quite, door closed, just in the nick of time. Is Geipel going to be able to make the dive up the inside in turn 12? We've seen it happen before. Now, of course, two very evenly matched cars. Both Audis run by different teams, but the same base car. Over the timing line they run. Having lost another place. Down to fourth has gone Sebastian Ash. Can he fight back before the end? Into the last 6 minutes of the race now. Down towards turn one. Hard on the brakes. Philippe Geipel inching up onto the back of Florian Stoll, who's very much the cork in the bottle here, as we get a replay of David Jahn and Patrick Assenheimer at turn 3. There was a little bit of contact, and there's a bit more there as well. But Assenheimer goes through. David Jahn in the Team 75 Bernhardt car falls back. So were Geipel to get past Stoll, could he do anything about the race leader? Question mark. and normally, of course, he's in traffic trying to overtake. So what a curve that will be, hard to gauge. The gap's widening all the time, 4.5 seconds. So it looks like the lead is out of the question, if only because he won't have enough of the race left, even if he does get past. And Jules Gounon, impressive drive this, because he's not put a wheel wrong. His father was always very, very quick in sports cars. Occasionally was a bit wild, but was always great value. But Jules did a very good, solid, safe job here, maintaining the advantage. The sectors are good, and he's being able to extend the advantage over Stoll. And the rest need now to try and coming, but otherwise they are going to be condemned in second and third and fourth places here. Over the line they come. Down to turn one. Is Geipel close enough? Don't think he is. And then behind them, look, Christian's in the Bentley coming back into the mix. And the other car to watch is the Lamborghini now in 7th place. Lukas Stolz is getting closer and closer all the while as well as they work their way out of turn 2 downhill. Stolz led yesterday, he dominated his stint, but was dealt a pretty hard blow by the timing of the safety car, and the team called him in a lap race that probably was ideal. So in the end, he and Gerhard Travasa didn't have a great run in the end. They got to 7th place. But at one point, it could be a lot worse than that. But today, the car is 7th and could gain even more before the end. Florian Stoll standing his ground. He's not doing anything dirty. He's driving sensibly, driving defensively, driving his own race, keeping the lines he needs. Having the challenge of Geipel, who, if he gets a good one through this next sequence, can possibly challenge at the bottom of the hill. Down to turn 11 once more they go. This is lap 39. 3.5 minutes to go. Geipel not able to get close enough there, and nor actually is the Zakspeed Mercedes behind close enough to think about making a move either. This Geipel's chance, yes, up the inside he goes. They almost touch, but Philipp Geipel has done it yet again at the very last moment. He dives through, and a delighted Yako Racing team cheers its man across the line. Florian Stoll now has to start defending from Sebastian Asch, and also Christians is in the mix as well. Asch to the outside line at turn 1. If he stays there, it's the inside for turn 2. This is his best chance of getting another place back. He's on the curb, but he can't do it. They rubbed, and Asch tried everything, but it wasn't going to pay out. And look already at the way that Geipel's getting away. Now, 3 minutes and counting. I don't think he can do enough about the race leader, but this was another inspired move by Geipel. At the very last moment, he commits, he dives up the inside. You almost felt the car breathe in. There wasn't that much room, but through it goes, up into second spot from another angle. Here it is, last possible second. Go, up the inside, skims the curb, and Stoll suddenly thinks, wow, this green flash darts up the inside of him. Absolutely on the limit racing. Philipp Geipel, very impressive around here. It's kind of certain, you get the feeling. And this was how Sebastian Asch tried to go through into 3rd place on the outside line all the way around turn 1, but couldn't quite hang on to it. But he's not done yet, still got 2 more minutes to go. And Sebastian Asch has an opportunity, I think, still to have a go and try and get that place back as the cars work their way downhill again. But Florian Stoll, maintaining the good work done early on by Lawrence Vanthor, hangs on to what is now 3rd place. We've had a change behind, look, because 6th is Lukas Stolz, and down to 7th has gone Conor De Filippi. Sebastian Asch thinks about the inside line, but that's all he can do. Mercedes once more unable to really get the drive up the inside there. Downhill they go once again. Mercedes on the back of the Audi. Asch trying to trigger a mistake here out of Florian Stoll, but it's not for coming, is it? And then Christer Jørns in the Bentley getting back into the mix as well. The Ab run car. Ab's switching from Audi to Bentley for this season. Christer Jørns has been pretty quick round here all weekend. He's been a GT3 regular. Tackles the 24-hour series as well. And therefore knows all about long distance racing. And Sebastian Asch, oh so nearly makes the move on the inside there, but he just wasn't quite on. But he's under attack from the Bentley. Stoll delays the Mercedes at the inside. Comes Christer Jørns, elbows out, through he goes. Fantastic, and now here comes Stolz as well. Lukas Stolz and the Lamborghini will go around the outside of the Mercedes. Christer Jørns is on an absolute mission. Can he do what Asch couldn't do? He tries the outside line at the bottom of the hill. Florian Stoll still stands his ground, but he was slow at the midpoint of the lap, delayed the Mercedes, and Jørns just went for it, and it paid out for him. We're going to get one more lap out of this. Towards turn 12, look in the background. Edward Sandstrom goes through against Conor De Filippi. That's for 7th. The Sandstrom car, Daniel Dobic at the wheel, apologies. Over the timing line they come then now. So Daniel Dobic gains 1 spot, and all of this is because Florian Stoll is still the cork in the bottle. Christer Jørns to the inside at turn 1. Asch Ash to the outside. Stoltz tries to get up the inside. There are cars going everywhere on this, which will be the last lap of the race now. Sorry, the last lap within the time. Then you've got the one regulation lap at the end. So they've got this and one more to do. As up the inside goes Christians. Has he opened the door? He has, but he's on the outside line for the next corner. Stoll very physically hands onto it. Ash tries to get up the inside. Can't do it in the white Mercedes. Wow. Florian Stoll, virtually immovable in all of this. Doesn't matter what they do. They try the inside, they try the outside. They lean on him. And still, the Audi may not be the quickest car, but it hangs on to position. This is the fight for third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, and eighth, and ninth now, because Norbert Siegler has joined in on the back of the train, on the back of Conor de Filippi. So, 60 minutes are up, then there is the regulation lap at the end. Downhill they go, fight for third, he's well and truly joined. Christian Jens again has a go, but Sebastian Asch, looking the white Mercedes, has fallen away a little bit, conscious of where Lucas Stoltz is. Can Jens commit to the inside as they come through turn 12? Not there, he can't. Can he get the drag? Sideways indeed, out of the last corner. Now Sebastian Asch getting back over the tail of the Bentley. Now we're on the last lap, down towards turn 1. Jens goes to the inside line. That line's covered by Stoll. Here comes the Bentley. This is going to end in tears, surely. Again, they lean on each other. Ash tries to get up the inside. Stoltz gets up the inside of all of them in the Lamborghini. Stoltz goes past Sebastian Asch, who yet again tries but fails. And somehow, Florian Stoll is still at the head of this queue. Unbelievable. Now Dobic gets up past Ash, and Conor de Filippi does as well. And the Mercedes has got damage, and it's got a problem. And it's being attacked from all quarters, and the more it's attacked, the more the problem gets worse. So Sebastian Asch is tumbling down the order now, as up to try and attack him for 8th place comes Norbert Siegler. What a last few laps, and this is only, in quotes, for 3rd place. Up front, it is Jules Gounon by 4.5 seconds from Philippe Geipel, but all eyes on this fight for 3rd, and it's not done yet. Stoll, Jens, then the green Lamborghini in the hands of Stoltz. Daniel Dobic is next. And here is Jules Gounon about to score a first ADAC GT win, and Daniel Keilwitz to have a 13th as the flag falls. The Corvette wins at Sachsenring. Jules Gounon, Daniel Keilwitz the winners. For 2nd place, Philippe Geipel and Rahal Frey. And Florian Stoll is going to hang on for 3rd place. 4th will go the way of Christian Jens. 5th in the end is Lucas Stoltz in 6th place. Daniel Dobic, 7th is de Filippi. 8th is Sebastian Asch, and 9th is Norbert Siegler. And the incidents in the last lap are under investigation, but I don't think it was anything more than people just desperately trying to go for gaps and get past the cork in the bottle, as it were, Florian Stoll's Audi. So it was all very dramatic, very physical stuff. This was one of the moves where the Audi got in the way, effectively, of the Mercedes, and Christian Jens just committed himself intuitively to the inside line and took the place away from Sebastian Asch, and more was to come. The reigning champions getting mugged on the last couple of laps. But it was physical stuff, desperate driving. As I said during the race, the BOP is such that the cars are so evenly matched, you have to try and force the issue, and a lot of forcing was done. Christian Jens up the inside here. This was starting the last lap, leaning on the back. So then up the inside tries to go Ash, but Lucas Stoltz sees the gap, it takes the curb. He moves ahead of the Mercedes, gains the place. So after Luca Ludwig's early lead, in the end for the Mercedes, 8th place, it was poor reward. And there, Stoll and Jens get together, bits fly. But the Yako Racing team very happy with 2nd, and the Callaway Competition team very happy with the Corvette victory for Jules Gounon and Daniel Keilwitz. What a great spectacle as this train of, 7 cars, nose to tail, all the different brands that you have in that battle. Audi ahead of Bentley, from Lamborghini, from Mercedes, then 2 more Audis, another Lambo. That was Dobic up the inside of Ash. More bits of car come loose and line the road. But Daniel Keilwitz was completely unaffected by all of that, because his car was way, way clear up the road. And Daniel, very much a Corvette specialist, takes the race win. And Jules Gounon goes offline, flashes the lights at the marshals, gets the pickup on the tyres to add to the weight of the car, and will head then to the pit lane as a race winner. Jules Gounon and Daniel Keilwitz, the winners of race 2, round 4 of the year. Philippe Geipel and Rahal Frey 2nd, ahead of Florian Stoll and Laurens van Thor. Christian Jens and Daniel Abt end up 4th, ahead of Lucas Stoltz and Gerhard Verraza. Daniel Dobic and Edward Sandstrom take 6th, ahead of Conor De Filippi and Christopher Mies, with Sebastian Asch and Luca Ludwig clear of Seidler and Van Lagen.